Hi team, welcome back to our Introduction to Ancient Greece Anchor Fact series of printables and mini lessons. We now turn to the most important story in history that most people do not know, and which shows why democracy is dangerous, and why neither America nor any other country in the world today is actually a democracy. We misuse that word because we have failed to learn from history. The story that shows us what democracy really means is the story of one of my personal heroes, the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates. Socrates is sometimes considered the first philosopher because he is known for having asked difficult questions of the leading citizens of Athens in the pursuit of wisdom. The word philosophy, which of course comes from the ancient Greek, means the love of wisdom. Socrates believed that through philosophical inquiry, we could answer some of the most important questions about human life, such as, what is justice? What is the soul, or the non-physical part of human nature? What is love? And what is the proper way to organize a human society? Unfortunately for Socrates, by asking these difficult questions, what he revealed is that the most famous men of Athens did not have good answers to any of them. And they did not appreciate it. Tragically, what happened is that the leading men of Athens decided to get rid of this troublesome man by means of democracy. They denounced Socrates as a man who was spreading what some people would call misinformation today, and they put him on trial. They said that he was, quote, corrupting the youth, unquote, and undermining society. So how do we decide such things? People disagree all the time, they argue, they say lots of mean things about their opponents. But in a free society, as long as someone is just talking, they are allowed to do that. Even as some people, especially the political leaders, are upset by what they say. That's what the most important law in human history is about, the First Amendment of the American Bill of Rights. It says, among other important things, that the government shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. Unfortunately, ancient Athens was a democracy, and this means that any issue, such as free speech, was not protected by a Bill of Rights. It was decided by a vote. A vote of Athenian citizens was held, and the citizens, who were swayed by their leaders, condemned Socrates for the words he had spoken. In this famous painting by French artist Jacques-Louis David, which we will explore more closely in a special lesson of history through art on the Knowable World YouTube channel, we see the result. Socrates is seen in a prison cell among the students who loved him, reaching for a poison called hemlock. After drinking it, he died. What the trial of Socrates by the Athenians shows is the full, true meaning of the word democracy. Democracy means the rule of the people. It doesn't just mean that people have the right to vote. It means that whether or not people have rights is decided by voting. The problem with this, of course, is that people can vote for the wrong thing. It doesn't matter if you live in a family that prefers one version of America or another. You can't deny that the majority can be wrong. Was it wrong to elect Joe Biden, or was it wrong to elect Donald Trump? Either way, it was definitely wrong at least once. But in a society that protects rights, which America's founding fathers called a republic, not a democracy, you can't vote somebody to death. In a democracy, you can, and the Athenians did. Some people will know that Socrates was given a choice. He could either be exiled or killed. To be exiled means to be kicked out of society. Socrates, who was a philosopher, knew that life is not worth living in the wilderness alone. He knew that human beings need each other, that they must live in a society in order to truly flourish. He refused exile, so he died. In a democracy, all it takes is one more than 50% of the people to decide you should die, and they can do it. In a democracy, the majority rules without limits. In a democracy, you can be voted to death. Thank goodness we don't live in a democracy today. And thank goodness that the Founding Fathers of America knew their history and that we can learn it together too. Only history can show us what important words like democracy really mean. See you next time.